Can you spot that massive gold necklace adorning Putin's neck? Look to the right, and there's Xi Jinping. Oh yes, Xi Jinping presented that necklace to Putin, calling it a friendship medal, symbolizing their ever-strengthening bond. However, that happened way back in 2018, and now, after 5 long years, the Sino-Russia friendship has grown at an astonishing rate. Surprisingly, instead of holding both of them responsible, some people point fingers at the US and EU, suggesting that they had a hand in orchestrating this alliance. Let's take a moment to imagine the necklace, glimmering with intricate patterns and shimmering gemstones. It holds a deeper meaning than mere gold and jewels. It represents a connection between two mighty nations. Now let's zoom out from the necklace and explore the bigger picture. Picture a world where the West, including the United States and the European Union, begins to feel a sense of unease, almost like a shiver running down their spines. This alliance between Russia and China, fueled by their shared ambitions and common interests, grows stronger by the day. The West starts to worry, realizing that their dominance and influence might be at stake. In today's video, we will talk about the economic and military friendship between China and Russia. Then we will discuss why the West is responsible for this all, and conclude by suggesting some measures. But before moving forward, we would like you to subscribe to the channel for more updates. The Sino-Russian friendship isn't just about political ties, it has a significant economic dimension as well. To understand this, let's take a closer look at the BRICS group, an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These countries are considering expanding their membership, and several other nations have shown keen interest in joining their ranks. Recently, senior officials from more than a dozen countries gathered together to discuss closer links with the BRICS bloc. They saw it as an opportunity to deepen ties and establish a counterweight to the influence of the West. Countries like Saudi Arabia and Iran are among those engaged in these discussions, recognizing the potential benefits of aligning themselves with this powerful group of major emerging economies. In the past, BRICS was seen as a loose association of diverse emerging economies. However, in recent years, it has taken on a more concrete form, primarily driven by China, and more recently, with added impetus from Russia, particularly since the start of the Ukraine war. China, with its booming economy, stands at the forefront of this economic alliance. It holds an undisputed primacy in terms of trade, with over $100 billion in trade with 3 out of the 4 potential BRICS countries. But the economy is just one dimension of the Russia-China bromance. The military aspect is even more daunting. Recent leaks from the Pentagon shed light on China's involvement in supplying weapons to Russia during the conflict in Ukraine. According to these leaked U.S. government documents, China not only approved the provision of lethal aid to Russia, but also insisted on keeping these shipments a secret. The revelation that China has been covertly arming Russia in Ukraine adds another layer of complexity to their strategic partnership. It underscores the depth of their military cooperation and raises questions about the potential consequences of such collaboration in the ongoing conflict. But the military collaboration between China and Russia doesn't end there. There have been joint naval drills conducted in the Gulf of Oman involving China, Iran, and Russia. These exercises take place against a backdrop of heightened tensions with the United States, adding to the already complex geopolitical dynamics in the region. Moreover, during the Xi-Putin summit that we discussed in our earlier video, the leaders of China and Russia recognized the importance of strengthening their bilateral and multilateral exercises, further solidifying their military cooperation. In their discussions, both leaders emphasized the need to enhance their joint exercises under existing frameworks and mechanisms. It is true that Xi Jinping's leadership in China and Vladimir Putin's leadership in Russia have been criticized for their authoritarian tendencies. However, it is important to delve into the historical context and complex dynamics that have shaped their respective countries and their relationship with the Western Bloc. There was a belief among Western nations that integrating China into the liberal international order and welcoming them into organizations like the World Trade Organization, WTO, would lead to economic reforms and potentially trigger political liberalization. The hope was that increased economic openness would pave the way for a more democratic China. However, the Chinese government has adeptly harnessed its economic power to bolster its military capabilities and assert its influence in regional and global affairs. This has been evident in China's actions concerning Taiwan, Hong Kong, and other territorial disputes. Beijing's economic prowess, coupled with its growing military might, has made it a crucial trade partner for many countries around the world. As a result, there is hesitancy among some nations to confront China on various issues, including human rights concerns, for fear of jeopardizing economic ties. This situation has led to a degree of caution among Western countries, including Europe, when it comes to openly challenging China's actions. Recent statements from French President Emmanuel Macron and U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken regarding China and Taiwan have added another layer of complexity to the evolving dynamics between the Western Bloc, China, and Russia. Macron's statement that France should refrain from criticizing China on the issue of Taiwan and Secretary Blinken's statement during his visit to China, explicitly stating that the U.S. does not support Taiwan's independence, are moments of concern. But Europe is also responsible for the China-Russia closeness, and the elephant in the room is NATO. The growing closeness between Russia and China could be attributed in part to the actions of Europe, particularly concerning the issue of NATO enlargement. After the end of the Cold War, when European countries expanded NATO, including the addition of Poland and other Eastern European nations in the late 1990s, Russia perceived this as a threat. This sense of insecurity led Russia to seek a partnership with China. Had Europe adopted a more measured and cautious approach, the deepening Russia-China alliance may not have materialized, and potentially, the Ukraine conflict could have been avoided. Additionally, Europe's diplomatic engagement with Taiwan has also contributed to the current crisis, as it provokes China and exacerbates tensions. In essence, by expanding NATO and engaging with Taiwan in a way that unsettles China, Europe inadvertently played a role in driving Russia into the arms of China. This has had far-reaching consequences and highlights the importance of careful and rational decision-making in international relations. As Napoleon once famously remarked, "Let China sleep, for when she wakes, she will shake the world." The current situation serves as a reminder of the potential global impact when major powers like China become more assertive on the world stage. We would once again ask you to subscribe to the channel. To avert these potential consequences, the West needs to awaken to the realities of the changing global landscape and adopt a strategic approach. One crucial aspect is reducing dependence on China and Russia, particularly in critical sectors such as technology and supply chains. Diversifying trade and investment partners and reducing vulnerabilities can help mitigate risks and maintain leverage in the face of an assertive Sino-Russian partnership. Additionally, the West should foster closer cooperation among like-minded democratic nations to counterbalance the growing influence of China and Russia. It is important for the West to engage in constructive dialogue with China and Russia, promoting areas of cooperation while also addressing areas of concern. Maintaining open lines of communication can help manage disputes, prevent misunderstandings, and find areas of shared interest such as climate change, global health, and non-proliferation. Ultimately, the West must remain steadfast in upholding its core principles, such as democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, while actively defending its interests. While the exchange of the friendship medal in the form of a necklace between Putin and Xi Jinping symbolized the growing bond between Russia and China, it also serves as a metaphor for the need for the West to take action. The West must recognize that if it desires to prevent the exchange of more metaphorical necklaces, representing deeper ties between these two powers, it is time to act decisively. If you like the video, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more updates.